So welcome to the Laura and Benny show. I'm very excited because we're moving away from the suppliers and into a much more interesting era, I'm going to call it.
Is it a new season? Is it technically a new season?
It is a new season.
Welcome to the first guest of season 8.
Yeah, but we're going to get in couples who got married. We were there on the other side of the camera. We've got Katie, Cormac, guys. Thank you for being the first.
Thanks for having us.
Congratulations on getting married.
Katie's suddenly gone.
Yeah.
This is what happened to Dad on the day.
Give it about 45 seconds and you'll explode.
Seconds when I forget the camera's there.
Yeah, compose yourself. But you guys got married the 24th of February this year.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it was amazing. We had such a lovely day, weather-wise as well.
Yeah, you're right actually.
You were actually very lucky because it probably was the wettest winter.
Yeah, but so we picked the cheapest one to get married.
We went by the rainfall.
I told him to trust me.
So Dara was right. He said, go off season. And he goes, the best thing that can happen to you is that it lashes rain so everybody goes into the pub.
Yeah, but the way I thought of it was like, if you pick June and July and it rains, you're going to be really pissed off.
That's right.
But if you pick February and it rains, you're going to be like, well, it's February.
Yeah, and if you get a half decent day,
you
think
knew what we were getting into.
Everyone knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
That was the thing as well, and everyone getting ready would have known what to prepare.
So that was kind of half my question about February. Why February? But it was kind of just like,
that was why.
just suited. Yeah.
But it's also, we have nothing going on that time of year. Like his birthday's January, my birthday's March, and then there's always something on.
I'm a March buddy.
Are you Pisces?
I'm an Aries.
Oh, so close, lads. Yeah, it's over. It's over, lads.
This is the Benny and Laura show.
It actually is. It's just I tried to make it mine, yeah.
And then we were like, that'd be a nice time of year to have an anniversary.
Yeah.
But also when we were looking at dates, it was really hard to get after COVID and everything. And we just planned it in about 6 months. And then we would have settled for any day really of the week as well. We were we were just not.
You were flexible enough.
Yeah, when we dealt with Zoe at first, and then she said, actually, I have a Saturday this day, and we'd been looking, and we were like, no worries.
Perfect.
That's brilliant,
so you did it in 6 months.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit longer, but
no, 6.
Yeah. Felt longer.
The idea behind that was, I suppose, is we didn't want to be on about it for like 2 or 3 years. We just wanted to kind of get out of the way, get it done. But you know, because but it's
he
kind
still says this yesterday when we walk. He's like, I'm so glad that's over. I'm like, this is like a long-term assignment.
See, he was so committed that he just wanted that nonsense out of the way.
No question, yeah. Lifetime romance, like.
But that's right. But it is. It's like it's such an important day. It's a big day, and you put lots of plans, and you definitely put your own spin into it. But you're right. It can take over lives sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's fine if that's your plan. If you want to wait 2 years or 3 years for whatever your reason is in that way, but you are totally happy to do it in 6 months and kind of have the party and get it done.
I want to be your husband, I want to be your wife, let's get this done.
Before we change our minds,
Yeah.
I think after COVID as well, like, it's still fine sometimes you're sitting there thinking, did that all happen? And that was like 2 or 3 years of your life
so strange.
kind of gone by, so...
And you survived COVID, so I mean, like, that's the big test.
Yeah, big time.
And that came out the same.
And how long are you together? When did you meet first?
I told you they'd ask us things like this.
Were you not listening to the speeches?
I was like, do you know when you go through immigration for an ESTA?
Okay.
I was like, this is what it's going to be like, and we're both going to come out.
This is not a sham marriage.
Yeah.
I actually took my Irish passport to what's that thing that you do for the green folder?
Oh, yes, the registry office.
Just in case they thought that I was, I was like, because
Okay.
obviously I was born in the UK and I have a British passport and an Irish passport.
Very
I was like, going to take,
Just in case.
But people do, like, unless they're told, sometimes some people bring ID on the day, like if they're a witness or something, they show up with a passport and it's like, you actually on the day, you don't necessarily have to.
I love the way you've gone around the question.
Yeah, no,
No, but
they're doing the maths in the background, they're buying times.
We met in September, October 2007. So I worked in Argos and Katie got a part-time job in Argos. And we were friends then for about 10 years. And then one February we started.
Oh, it was around February.
Well, maybe the February is meant
That
to
was
be
always a
then.
joke. It was always in the Six Nations, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Wales were playing England and Wales were winning. And
Hamilton.
we were in Barbarossa and
I love that there was a friendship there before you
Massive
got
friendship,
together.
yeah, brilliant.
It's amazing.
like
Coercive.
we'd have known each other. We'd have known each other's ex-partners or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
So you all still going
She'd
together
have been
for
like,
drinks.
oh, you should leave her. Like, you should leave her.
You can do better than that. Or like saying that, like as in, we'd have known each other. You'd have known me, I'd say, even when I was doing my leaving cert. I had just moved here.
Okay.
I had just moved that August, I'd say, before you met me. So
She's really quiet.
it was really quiet.
Were you?
She was really
Yeah.
What
quiet.
did you do to her, Cormac?
As in, so quiet, people didn't think I could speak English.
Oh yeah.
Handy,
We
though,
won't-
handy, yeah.
We won't give away the speech jokes now, like.
And,
But I think you should mention it though. I think it's
it was
gas.
bad, like in school, Eastern European girls would come up to me and speak to me in like Polish and other languages, thinking that they were making a really sweet effort with me, and I didn't understand anything.
But it was gas.
But I was also in that class where you don't do Irish because I moved
Yes.
at a certain age.
Yeah.
So it didn't really help things, and sometimes I didn't want to like say anything because they were being really nice, you know. And one girl, I think she was South African? I asked her a question about, is this the classroom where we go if we don't study Irish? And I'm like, her English is immense. That girl, she's picked up so much in such a short space of time. And I don't actually know if I ever corrected anyone.
Just let it go. Yeah. It's all part of the
It's like a
mystique.
superpower.
So did you know Katie at this muted stage of her
So,
life? Or?
yeah, so this is what
Yeah.
happened.
This is the great
So
joke.
when I met Katie, she wasn't really speaking, she was just working away.
I was being productive.
Okay.
And my good friend, Frank, I was
he
like,
a
I'm
good-
10, you know, Frank, she's Eastern European. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, she's not. I was
She
like,
didn't talk
10
to me like, she mustn't be able to speak to me.
I was like, €10 bet she's Eastern European. And he's like, I'm 10, you know, she's English.
Yeah, you
So-
should have known.
I lost the €10, but I gained Katie. So.
Hey.
I like this.
Brilliant.
I like it.
But speaking of quiet, I'll be honest, I didn't expect what was going to happen later on. In the night. We're going to start at the end of the night where we miss most of it. But you're a maniac on the dance floor. Like, I really wasn't expecting that. Like, you expect, like
you were having fun.
We'll get into it later, but you're having a quiet day, your own way. So you really kind of, the whole build of the day as we're going through it, right? You're keeping to yourself, you're having your nice day, a family day, and then later on you're going to have a party. But I didn't expect the dance floor. Like,
What
really
year
didn't.
was it that I did Strictly?
So 2 years ago.
2 years ago anyway.
Oh,
So
Okay.
I won
So you're
that.
comfortable
I
on
won
the
that.
dance floor.
Actually is.
You won
Brilliant.
it.
Well, no, it was a group one. So my
Oh,
group
really?
won Tina Turner, and then we got first place for Tina Turner.
Tina
and third
Turner
place.
makes sense totally
for-
now. I see there's some of those head swings and
That's why that was
spins.
in that.
Your
Yes.
hair was like in full motion. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I
okay.
was in that, and that's why I did
Brilliant.
it with Alison as
You
well.
were in the West End.
And I'm not finished with it. We got third place for Moulin Rouge. So I don't think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you the two told us.
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
Where's
And
the
actually,
wedding?
my mum came to that. My dad didn't come to that. He was in the UK going to like a Pink Floyd tribute band. I was like, "Gonna change the flights." He was like, "No."
No.
Rang me up on the day.
Priorities.
You'll do great. Bye.
But at least you rang you and gave you a
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I was younger, so we didn't grow up near any family, so I think we got enrolled in lots of different things for like.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah.
on a Saturday, what are you doing? So we're getting up, we're doing swimming club for an hour, and then we're going to go do 3 hours of drama, dance, and music and stuff like that. So we did dance, and then at the end of the year, a couple of years, we did performance then on the West End, like in a theatre.
Wow.
But it wasn't like no one was paying to get in, you know, it's just our parents. But the theatre that we were in is now got Frozen on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
So
amazing.
just outside Covent Garden, it has Frozen. So I go back every year just hoping someone will recognise it. And then just Frozen, like,
And ask
actually,
for a selfie.
oh, yeah, you know. And we took your mum, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was actually it was Drury Lane, it's quite a big theatre. So yes, I'd still be quite quiet at times, and then people get a bit of a shock. I'll get really
So you
annoyed.
were right, you're on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
there
We'll
you
give you
go.
that much.
But if we
Okay.
go for a night out and no one's up dancing, I'll get frustrated, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
be like, I need to burn off some energy here. You know?
Yeah, she's
Like
actually
a pump.
hilarious.
And Cormac, you could hold your own. I mean, you were teeing her up greatly. Like, I mean, is there any secret dancing going on?
No,
Or
see,
Katie gives you all the
I
confidence?
was so proud because we were going to get dance lessons.
Right.
And then we were like, can't be bothered.
Yeah.
We
So-
were lazy.
Yeah.
We were so lazy. And we looked at the calendar, like once a week, and we wrote it in, and then we were like,
I can't do this every Sunday.
I was like, I actually don't
It's
want
not
to
worth
do
the
this.
time. It's
Yeah,
not worth
yeah,
I
the
yeah.
time.
enjoy dancing, and
We
I was
had-
like, I don't want to do it.
We did 1 or 2 little practices in the kitchen. I said, Katie, it's all about the spin.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, you're dead
As long
right.
as
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
spinning
yeah.
smiling. Yeah.
And nothing we practiced was done on the evening.
That's
Were.
gas.
People came up to me and said, you definitely got lessons. And I was like, no.
Oh,
No,
that's a compliment,
brilliant,
though.
brilliant,
Fair
brilliant.
dues.
That's
Yeah,
great.
fair
Because
dues.
you-
They were being nice. They weren't
were
going to tell
drunk.
you terrible. They weren't going to have their little 10.
But I find if they say nothing at all, then, you know, but if they actually wanted to compliment you, then there you go.
So you had Billy BMG,
yes,
who was in a BMG Sound, who was in.
Yeah.
So tell us about all the stuff that, like, how did Billy's kind of night work and like,
I love the way
great.
he's doing this in reverse.
So,
In reverse, we're starting after that. So we got to go home, and we're kind of like, what happened like after then?
So,
but it must be brilliant.
It was amazing because I've known Billy for years.
Okay.
For years, and I knew he was a DJ, and it's actually funny because Katie phoned him.
Yeah.
And didn't realise there was a connection that you
No,
knew.
no.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I was, because you don't do Instagram or anything like that, and I was looking up different things, and we were just in that stage of getting, I'd say we started planning, getting prices, stuff like that, and I was in the UK on a work trip, and I rang him, and he rang me anyway, and he was like, "Are you Cormac's missus?" And I was like, "What? I don't even know what to say here." Like, I don't know what I want to tell him now. How do I get out of this? And then we were just talking, he's like, "We met like 3 times." I was like, "Oh." And actually then I remembered on McCurtain Street, some random dude in a van shouting, "Cormac," with all his equipment.
That also
Cool.
sounds like
Yeah.
I had a chat a couple of times, and then he was walking his dogs another time, and with the dogs I was like, okay. So he was fab, and I think we had a couple calls to just talk through what.
Did you throw out a few song ideas, or how did that work?
The thing.
Oh.
Did
he tell you?
No, he didn't.
No, but no, he kind of said,
Okay.
in fairness, what Billy said,
Okay.
I suppose, has Billy's gone live? Can't remember. But in anyway, he kind of says he does
Billy's
collaborate.
done.
Obviously, he doesn't want a list of A to Z.
Yeah.
But he does want to get a feel for what your kind of taste is and kind of.
Did you give him an A to Z list?
Okay.
Did he have to talk you out of it?
I had a couple of long bus journeys, didn't I, in the summer, right? I was going down to Kinsale learning scuba diving.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah, feck dance
Something
lesson.
tense.
Let's go scuba diving.
basically, it was like 8
Good to
hours
be
of
well
bus.
rounded.
It's like we're gonna, you know, I'm yet to find my talent, right? But I'm not giving up. So it was long
Cold
bus
water
journeys.
scuba.
He was like, you do that. That's your job. We kind of divided things. He was like,
Okay.
that's your job.
Yeah, okay.
You do that. And just kind of was putting on Spotify. That's what Billy wanted. He was like, just get us playlist.
Yes.
And then he was like, throw everything on it.
Okay.
Was it 32 hours long or something?
Oh my.
I was like, there you go.
Yeah,
That's
Billy
it.
appreciated
And
that.
I had 32
He
said it on the night. He was like, Katie gave me a fuckload of songs that we're not going to get through tonight, but we'll do our best.
That's class.
Was it really? No, it wasn't that long. Was it 6 hours?
It
No,
was.
it
No, it
was
was
30 something
30
hours.
at the start.
I got it down to 6, I think, in the end.
Okay,
Because
well, that's not too bad.
don't give me homework.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it in half.
yeah.
Like you're
I
going
would
to
do it properly because he kind of scared me. He was like, you know, I need something to go off of, and you know, this is the form you need to fill out, and once it gets all like that,
Well,
I
are
get
you
very
into
proper.
R&B? Are you a raver?
Everything.
Or are you
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. That's the
Everything's
problem.
on it.
Okay.
There was a song on it that I don't even think got played that you wanted
Right.
by this group called Cats UK. And this has a song called Luton Airport because that's where I'm from. And that had to be on it. So not all of it was me. He'd come out with the most obscure crap. We were driving along. Oh, this must come on. This must come on.
Billy was just probably there going, no.
I'd say everything bare, like Slipknot was probably on it.
Yeah,
okay.
Everything.
Yeah.
I like that.
A fair mix.
So
That's very funny.
And actually, there was no garage music on it, but there would have been garage music on it if some of my friends would have came.
Yeah.
So just to make me feel like they were
Because you
represented.
guys, you did, like, just so everyone understands, you didn't do the live band, you did the full night DJ, which we were just talking about recently. It's kind of becoming a big thing.
That's the thing, because when we were speaking to Billy, he kind of reassured us that he could do it and he could pull it off.
Yeah.
Because we were looking at bands, and to be honest, they were out of our price range.
Yeah.
But with Billy, we kind of trusted him straight away. And it wasn't just because I knew him, it's because he went through everything so good with us.
Yeah.
And on the night, you could really see it come to life, to be honest. Like, it really
He's
worked.
experienced as well with different crowds. Like
I was just about to say, so different age groups, did you kind of see that different people were responding to different genres or different sections of the night? Was that,
and it was shaked up like the tempo of music as well.
Okay.
But even just like the visual, like side of things as
lights
well,
and
everything. Like his setup isn't just like one man and a laptop. It's amazing setup.
Like a tea table and a laptop or something.
Yeah.
I was like, not sure what to expect, but when you look at what he can do, where the lights even coincide with the music and the rhythm,
it was unreal.
You're like, I'm in a nightclub here or something.
Yes,
you know?
that's a great compliment.
The room is very, very big, even though they made it smaller because we had a small group of people. And it didn't feel like that at all.
No.
It felt like it still felt very cohesive, and it really felt like everyone.
So no
was
regrets
there
with the
to
full night DJ. You loved it.
No, it was just amazing. He did
Just
such a
chat
great
to
job.
Anybody.
Brilliant.
Really did.
No, that's really good. Yeah, because it's good because it's like a lot
yeah.
of people are kind of like, I suppose our minds just go automatically, and you did the same.
Yeah.
You looked straight away into bands, but there is other options. And lots of people are actually starting to look at the full night DJs now because it does actually give a different feel, and the setup that they can do if they're there all night. Like he took over the same space as a band would take over on that stage. It was amazing.
We just thought a band and me would be too much.
Katie, I also played the drums for 6 hours.
Belter at a time. And it was really fun. And actually, do you know, some people, like my parents and that generation, when they would have had a band, they were like, "You had a DJ for the whole night," and they were like, "It was amazing."
Okay,
they were okay. They didn't regret it, or they didn't kind of go, "Do you know what? You should have got a band for 2 hours."
We were worried about that a bit.
Yeah.
They'd have an old waltz or something.
Exactly.
It's
my
something
dad
different
would
for
love
them as well, though. They're not used to it, I suppose. And it's when you give someone a different idea, sometimes people go, "Oh, I'm not used to that," and they don't know how to feel about it, kind of thing. It's each experience at once.
But that's even with our wedding. Like, you know, we had 40 people, including us, at the dinner, at the ceremony, and then we had a big after party. So even people weren't used to that. Some people were a bit like, "Oh, you're having such a small ceremony," but it worked out so well for us. Like,
I think everyone enjoyed it.
Your day though, like, and this is why I was really excited the fact that you wanted to come in, because like lots of people ask us, "Well, what do I do here? What do I do there? What do I have to do?" And my answer always is like, you don't have to do anything. Like there literally is no rules. And you guys literally had the day that you wanted, and the whole, like as you said, like 40 people earlier in the day, ceremony, dinner, you know, for the speech part of the day, intimate, and then moving spaces as well from that kind of like nice intimate space across to the larger space, even though you made it slightly smaller. What was it, like just 100 people then about in the room?
About that, 90 to 100.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah.
It was great though to kind of like split it up, that you could spend the day with the people that are the closest to you. Was that nice to kind of like not have to be pulled at by the full 100 people as well?
That was amazing. I felt just to have. Because, you know, in an ideal world, you'd love to have everyone at your wedding. But, like, the way we did it, I suppose, just made it a bit unique and just made it a bit closer to people who were asked. But then also with the after party was, you know, we were still thinking of those people who we'd love to have at the full thing as well. But giving them the party part, which we felt everyone would enjoy.
And for people that maybe had to travel from the UK, my family that I haven't seen much of due to COVID and stuff. Especially, say, my godmother, who we would see each other at, like, maybe if we were in London or she's come over here, but with just the way things have gone in the last few years, we haven't seen each other. So to be able to have it at our table, we didn't have the head table then, just the circle, and actually being able to really, really catch up. Like we didn't see her the day before for like.
That's right. But you're right, if there was another 100 people there the whole day, you just don't get that time with your family and particularly close family that travel.
And like we had some other like really close family friend of my dad's who's like an uncle really to me, and being able to have that time with him and those conversations, and also for them to have that with each other, because I know people have said before they don't get to talk to anybody, so then it meant as well that in the evening you did get to talk to the other people.
That's right.
Everyone else was fed up of us, so we could talk to all the other people.
But it is such a long day. Like we often joke with lads that we're kind of like, the day only starts at 10 p.m. Nearly when we're doing the last kind of 20 minutes, half an hour with people, it's like your day's only starting then, because you're like traditionally, if you're doing the bog standard, you're doing the band, you're doing the DJ, you're doing the sing song, like you've just got so many hours into the night, but you still got to do that with people coming in at 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. Like you still had that.
And a lot of people who came to one part in the evening were like, "Yeah, you were dead right. That was amazing." There were even people were saying how easy it was to organise babysitters or get there or still see us in the dress, but they were like not losing the whole day. It was really. Really, I just thought it flowed really well as well.
I
wasn't sure about that.
I think one part as well though for me was like we were in Vegas a few months ago, and like I was like, "Katie, we could just get married now and have it all."
Into the Whitechapel.
Do you know
my dad was like, "Please get married in Vegas."
But like
did your dad say?
Oh, he wanted to go.
Only if you go home and see Pink Floyd in the Sphere or something.
A great holiday for me.
You see like the moments then like of Katie's dad getting to talk to his nephew who he hadn't seen in a while. And you see those touching moments and you understand why you do have a wedding, and it is nice.
He's from Australia, so like we wouldn't see much of him, and just seeing him talking to my dad and just with where he lives, he wouldn't see him much, and even seeing how alike they are. I was really glad that we did that, and I'm glad that he did such a good job taking those pictures. Like his mum meeting my brother, he's just moved back from the UK. That picture where they're shaking hands and they've heard so much about each other, but they literally just met.
Wow. Okay.
Like it was just really those moments where, and in having the smaller numbers, the fact that everyone had to mingle, or there was no groups.
That's right, they could get to know each other.
chat to
That
each
goes
other.
close to
And they were
groups,
a bit
yeah.
more, I suppose, open to it
Yeah.
because it was such small
They
numbers.
couldn't disappear into a sea of
So
200
now,
people.
Yeah.
My dad's best friend, there's a really good picture of dad's best friend, Nick, Chris, my brother, and my godmother's husband. And I'd say my mum has all the other half somewhere else as well. And the three of them just sharing like a really good joke. And like those people probably wouldn't have actually got to mix. And they've all so many stories about each other.
I love hearing that as well, because afterwards, like, we take pictures of moments, but we don't understand the backgrounds of the moments, and they don't know the people. That's really nice to hear that. Yeah.
Lovely. Or like funny ones of someone going up to the sweet cart who's like, you know, notorious for like cleansers and vegan this and vegan that.
Oh, really?
On the day.
You know
He knows who it is. And you can see him put his pockets up.
You know.
He's just being caught and he's there like,
There was nothing vegan about a sweet girl.
cursing pigs. So those moments where you're just like, those people never would have mixed. And also in the seating, like, there was no space. There was no spare seats. They could only fit 40 in the room. There was no spare seats, so they had to sit next to each other and get to know each other, and that was lovely.
As Dara says, cram them in, don't spread them out. So like, get the people together and they enjoy it. And when you mentioned like taking the photographs there, one of the things I have on the list is kind of like that kind of way that you got to like do the family photographs, but you also got to do the smaller groups of friends, and you probably got to chat to those really close group friends and give them kind of 10-15 minutes rather than just a wave and I'll be back to you lads.
Yeah, and I think that people have said that since as well, haven't they? Like who came over from the UK, especially like friends and family there.
But I think as well, you know, we did tell you when we sat down to talk to you about the photos, we were like, okay, we want it done like really fast because we want to enjoy.
Exactly.
You nailed that, to be fair.
I was like, was it an hour and 8 minutes? I think everything was done.
It was
You were
amazing.
I agree, you have it down to the minute. She had a stopwatch in the background. Tick, 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 tick.
I was like, there better be sweets left for us. There better be a couple of sandwiches left. And it was just, but it was even just, I was so surprised how much I enjoyed the photo shoot, just because I was like, you know, like we said, it's February, it's probably going to be, we don't know.
True, you go to went outside, it's chilly, and if you're not kind of comfortable, if we're not vibing together well, you're right, it could be like an hour of torture as opposed to a bit of crack, But
it was like, looking back, it was one of my favourite parts of the day, and I was just surprised. I was just surprised, and pleasantly surprised, and you just like dealt with different groups and different dynamics so well. Like it was absolutely effortless. You deserve a medal for dealing with all the dads on the day, all of the dads, and all of the pictures of the dads on their phones that he got. When his dad was like, "Oh, get one on my phone, will you?"
Yeah.
And then my dad,
I usually like iPads, but half the time was someone's mobile phone. And
my godmother. I love this now. I'm going to get this frame for her. It's like she's disrupted the whole photo shoot.
Oh, but this is normal.
Just pictures on her phone. So I'm going to frame this and send it to him. I'm like, what are you doing? But her brother, I think he's retired now. He was a photographer. And you're just like Dorothy, what are you doing? And you can see her husband as well. He's like, he's so embarrassed. He's so embarrassed.
There's that one person with their phone that just like they get
so
like, excited.
Like, sorry, I know there's a queue of people out there. But sorry, I just really need to get this shot. Relax, like someone's doing the whole thing. I'm like, I sent you the link, don't worry about it. But it was funny, and like the fact that there was not really much of a rush then as well.
Yes,
because it was all in one place, which I loved. We'd only been to one wedding before where that was the case, and literally it was almost all in one room, but with lovely partitioned areas.
Exactly, So
I don't think anyone was really bothered. They weren't like, we need to get out of the church and get into the car, and you know, each to their own. But that just works, especially with after getting people to travel so far anyway.
That they can just mingle and chill unless they're in house, and then especially like you were lucky with the weather on the day, but it might not have been, and then getting in the cars and moving locations in bad weather. It's just a whole other situation. But that's really nice to hear. Like, because I know like Cormac keeps saying to us, like, get it done quick. We get this told every single call we have. This is all couples, and I actually completely agree with them. As in, if I was getting married in the morning, I would say, being a photographer, would say the same to my photographer, going, get what you need to get done, but I'm not spending hours doing it, kind of thing. Like, just you know.
And I suppose it's the fear. It's just in case in case the photographer takes you off up the mountains for 3 hours type thing. It's just clarify, like, we don't want to do that type thing, that there is a party, there is a family day going on.
But there's a way of getting everything you need done, but there's a way of getting it done in a timely manner, and that's the way it should be, because you guys need to go to your wedding. You're not there to spend the day with us, kind of thing. Well, yes, we're around.
I would recommend to anyone that can spend the day with our wedding, you're going to get a great return on investment.
But
we could just hire us something for nights out.
You ever see those hype people?
Would I be a good hype person?
Yeah.
Would you be that person? Listen.
And
I give you a hype side bridesmaid.
Yeah. That's what I reckon. That's what she was.
Now.
That's what she was in our room.
well, I was just about to say, I was going to go, we'll bring it back, we'll jump from the night
Yeah.
all the way back to the morning, because somebody else is a fan of, aren't they, in your family? Apparently,
oh, I love your mom.
Your mom.
I do love your
Oh, the
mom.
product placement.
They got on well.
Yeah, she's so funny. Yeah, but that's like, and that was something else as well. Like, you didn't go along though, like, and you were actually, I think you were like our second or third couple this year already that didn't have a bridal party.
Got my mates.
Yeah.
It's not.
I've got the mates.
But it's not unusual though. You do see it. Like,
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
I don't ask how many's in your bridal party. I ask, are you having a bridal party?
Yeah.
Because not everybody does do it. So like, there was no kind of like official bridesmaids or groomsmen, but
No.
there was you had a good few like close friends around the
Yeah.
lads
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
They were there
Yeah.
with you in the
Yeah,
morning.
100%. Just
Yeah.
weren't good enough to be the best man.
Yeah,
Before we go on, before we go on to the morning, like, and I always say this to lads, it's like, do the morning your own way. And Cormac, you did it your own way. So you decided that you didn't want me to come to your home and kind of see you getting ready and stuff. You arrived at the hotel.
You didn't want the boxer shorts photos.
That's just for me.
And people can do it their own way, and it's okay. But like, you were in the hotel nice and early, and I think you actually enjoyed the pre kind of hour and a half, because you got to meet people and you were hanging out with the lads, and the lads were great for coming early.
Yeah.
And I think you enjoyed that kind of settling in and chatting to the lads.
Yeah, it was nice because they kind of set me down as well by having a chat with them, talking to them. Then of course I was talking to you, and that kind of helped as well. So I was just really relaxed, to be honest, because everything was done. I knew she was going to turn up, so I wasn't doing anything to worry about.
She took me downstairs.
I had her by the hair dragging her in the lift.
Yeah, she was putting sweets out. Follow
Katie. Follow me, Katie. But yeah, but we had a lovely morning because you had your, like, so Alison, the girl that did your hair, you actually know Alison, don't you? Yeah. She'd be a friend of yours, kind of thing.
She's our next door neighbour.
Okay.
But I've known her for years.
Amazing hairdresser.
Yeah.
Amazing hairdresser. So I go to
She's
her.
such a good job, yeah.
Bespoke hairdressing Clark too. So I go to her.
Don't worry, we'll take her in.
I go to her just for my hair anyway. And I was saying it, like, there was so many. They weren't official trials.
Okay.
There was like more trials than a courtroom, honestly. It's just anytime I went for a haircut.
You were messing about that morning.
Anytime I went for a haircut in the last 6 months.
You were like,
was
just throw that up
technically-
there.
Well, because my hair's so straight, this is it naturally.
Okay.
And she was
I am
like,
so envious that that's your hair naturally.
I'd love a
She wants
wave
a
or a
curly.
curl. I'd love that now.
You say that
Remember,
now.
Duffy
The
on the
humidity
day with
around
his ginger
here.
hair. I'd love that now. And she was like, don't worry, we'll do it. And I said, no one's ever managed to get like curls on my hair that lasted. They just always fall.
Yes.
And I only live 5 minutes from the hair salon, and she's like, I bought these new heaters in, we're going to try them.
Wow.
Get up the hill, and they're gone. Like, not even, they're in the car park and they just fall out.
You've got quite silky hair as well, though.
Yeah, it's
But it's
yeah.
laughing because their daughter has the same problem, and she's done the
She
point
can't
of, my
curls.
sisters came down and we're like, what are you doing, Michelle? And she's like, I'm curling Amy's hair. Amy's hair does not curl. But Amy's always tricking people into, come on, we can get it to curl.
I just need to find out. So we were just messing around, and then because she said to try and get something similar to what you have your hair. I thought I'd always have it down, or it's up in a messy, like I'm going to the gym.
It's
in a
very
messy
good advice
ponytail.
though. Don't change yourself in your
Yeah,
own
she
day.
was like, don't feel pressure to have bridal hair, whatever that is, or you know, have an updo because that's what you've seen everyone has.
Yes.
And we just tried out lots of different things. So I kind of had half up, half down, and then on the day she kind of was like, I think. Did you remember? She
But it
was
was
like,
kind
I
of
think
just
this will stay.
developing its own way as well, though,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was working, and we were all like
We
literally
were all
around
on a
going,
journey in the
Katie,
room.
you need to leave this the way it is because it looks
And then
great.
she was like, are you a fixer? Are you going to fiddle with
Yes.
it? Are you going to fiddle with it? And I'd never thought of that.
Yeah.
But it just was, it was lucky.
It's,
and actually,
I only say that because if people have like their hair down and say they've got a
They
few
keep
pieces
going.
here, and it's like it's framing their face. And if you don't usually frame your face for the whole ceremony, every time I try to take a photograph, you will do this and this and this.
Or just when the moment's going to happen.
Are you a fixer?
So we just kind of did that. She did something to my mum's hair as well. And I think actually with my mum's hair, she was thinking that stayed. And could see the similarities between our hair and was like, this is actually going to stay.
Okay.
And a makeup artist, Christina, she was fantastic as well.
She did such a good job.
Was mad about her.
Yeah. But it was such a lovely morning though, because it really couldn't have been more relaxed. It was literally just like you, me, your mum, Christina, Alison, and we had Ernest running around the place on video.
Yeah. I slept really well actually the night before. We stayed there the night before, the two of us in that room, Mum and I, and because people came from England, some of them stayed in the hotel, but I didn't want I didn't tell many people because I didn't want it to turn into like.
Yeah, how did you find the night before? Because it can get out of control, even if it's just people like just checking in, saying hello.
I didn't
It's
tell
like,
many people I was
yeah,
there,
exactly,
And I
because it
got-
and I
could,
told
could
the
turn
hotel
into
to
a
deliberately
party
not
or an
tell
extra
them.
session.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like, I'm staying in Boda.
It's like you should have put your name under an
Everyone
alias
got
like
it.
Pocahontas or something.
Yeah. No, that was me. Everyone got like a different story. I think I was like, I'm staying at the house, or I'm staying here, just because, not because I didn't want to see them, more because I knew I wouldn't have the time to spend
Sure.
with them.
Yeah.
I just knew. I knew that.
But
I didn't
you know
want to,
how you want to spend your time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just thought, like, we finished up work on the Thursday, got married on the Saturday, and I just thought that Friday is going to be running around for appointments, or me and my mum will get nails done, these things, and I just didn't want to promise anyone. Like, I'd rather under promise and over deliver and say, right, you know, I'm not going to be around, and then bump into me and I'm free. Great, now we can do something rather than let's all do dinner.
I feel like under pressure to
Yeah.
go.
You know,
with
like I
something.
ran home to get something, and you know, then like I just didn't want to feel like
It works
waiting
though, 'cause
around.
you were fresh that morning, like you seem rested.
And I did actually sort of hang around with like my godmother, her husband, and my dad's friend and his partner, and we actually spent some time together. But it was spontaneous, so it almost wasn't.
It
wasn't.
No pre-planned.
And you weren't obliged to kind of entertain people for 4 hours the night before.
And I, like they knew my mum and dad, so that was nice as well. And then like the morning of, woke up, and I think the fact that the weather was so bright as well would wake anyone up. And then I think Carolina came, my friend, to help me with all the tape and the dress and stuff.
I was about to mention that because that was like that was you're one of the first people that had like, so I remember we were like emailing back and forth, and I think you sent me an email just before going, just a heads up, Carolina's coming at like 9 a.m. or something to take me in. And I was like,
weirdo.
No, I was like, this is new. I was like, so you've got a hairstylist, you've got a makeup artist, you've got a tapist. I mean, but it was like, I was trying to, because I hadn't anybody that done this before that actually had someone come in to do the tape for them.
Yeah.
But it was brilliant.
It was more just,
but
without
it
having the bridesmaids and stuff, I was just like, that's a lot of pressure on my mum, and she's probably going to be, you know,
but
Mary,
it was great that
and
you
just
got
enjoying
it done.
herself. I wanted her to as well enjoy the morning as well, because
I think she did.
I
think she did.
I think she did.
I
think because there's a lot on her on the day anyway. Like even spending the night before with me, and then getting ready with me, and then it's just the two of us. So I was thinking, there's no rest. Like there's no.
It's very special
private
to have
time
it with your mum.
But I knew as well, like it's just all the emotions can actually tire you. So
that's right.
But it was great though, because it was done. You were taped perfectly for the dress. You could still wear the PJs while you were getting your hair and makeup done, and then it just meant slipping into the dress rather than having the chaos of, okay, we're going to get dressed, but I just need to tape myself in, and it's always I just need to tape.
It's never
that. And that bit that's not working, and that someone else needs help, and then if there is fret, and then mum's fretting, and then you're stressed.
I've seen half of Cork and Kerry's boobs, but I found that I have to help tape people in because it's just you're like, what's happening here? Are they even like? There's so much goes on.
She deals with it all the time. Like I took my dress into her to see if I, because I got my dress from Say I Do, and her Carolina's lingerie is just diagonal to that really.
Okay.
So I took it there to see if I should get a bra for it because it was backless and just get her advice. And she was like, honestly, tape. And I was like, really? Like tape? Like my experiences with tape over the years
never works.
Never
comes
been great.
off.
Never been great, but that stuff is amazing.
This wasn't your normal like see-through back tape. It was like a whole other tape though. Just for girls out there.
Industrial stuff.
Yeah, it's like
no skin left on you.
But no, but if any girls listen to this, they're like, what is this?
Yes.
DM me and I'll send you to Katie.
No, I think information like that should be shared because like the difference was you were so comfortable. It seemed like it went seamlessly, and as opposed to, like you said, so many people can be in that situation and it's just a bit fretful, or there's it's a problem that has to be solved. There's always a solution found, but you didn't have to deal with that.
You don't have time. Like it's quite a timely thing. So I can remember like the timings. I think I gave her like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and she came up and cut it all out and everything else. I had way too much of the stuff as well. I must have had like 6 rolls.
I found after.
Oh, when you were doing all
the tape?
What's going on? What's going on here? And I did try the tape on with like a different top.
Okay.
Maybe for fittings, fittings I took it, and I did it myself. But I think it's more just. So I'm right-handed, so one side would go great, and then the other side wouldn't necessarily go great. And then my mum wasn't around for fitting. You need the view of someone as well. So it was like, I need someone to just do that. And then also, just like the experience with it, like because it's very strong tape, getting it off
Yeah.
You know,
I was
do
kind of
not-
thinking, are you waxing yourself after
She
taking
said-
it off? Or?
No, she said, well, it's actually
Cormac's
so...
like, this is what happened in the morning.
Get me out of here.
But does hours later, does it naturally lose that kind of...
It reacts to sweat
Right.
stronger. So don't go in the shower and try and take it off. She was like, just slowly peel it off.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can actually get a special thing for it. I think the page that it comes from is literally called booby tape, and it has like a bottle of remover you can get, but I never got that in time. And she was like, do not like think you can go in the shower. And you'd think logically, I'll go in the shower.
Yeah, and
because like a plaster will come off, like
just slowly take it off. But it's so well done that it actually reacts to sweat and stuff like that. And I had it on after a fitting or something, and I actually kept it on.
But it didn't budge all day. Like you didn't change shape all day. In
No.
fairness, it was brilliant.
It
Yeah,
was
it was really good.
It was like a self-made bra, you know. And they have it for all sizes, and their page actually shows you how you can use it and stuff. So that's good. But
this needs to be
was
put out there though, because lots of people just buy the double-sided stuff, the clear stuff, and it just doesn't stay.
It was more like I was concerned about getting over the shoulder and how would it look, and stuff like that. And I had bits that I think on the arms you could see through, but the tape is so good with your skin tone and everything, you can't actually see it. So having her come in was great. And then Alison came at the same time as makeup, Christina, and just went from there. And breakfast came. Everything was really calm.
Cool.
You know?
Yeah, it was very calm.
And Cormac, how was putting on your jacks?
Was that
Very eventful.
Too much booby talk. You went black tie. How did you find like deciding what you're gonna black tie? And then I think was there a hint of velvet in it? I remember when you got out of the car, it kind of just popped in the sun and it actually stood out. It was pretty cool.
Benny, I'm very he saw Cormac. Look at that man.
Look at that velvet guy.
So I think Katie was a bit worried that I'd wear a kilt because for my grads.
Just because.
Did you wear a kilt for your grads?
Yeah, years ago. Yeah, myself and my
Why?
friend, we wore kilts just to be different.
And the
He's going to tell you I'm half Scottish.
No.
Any excuse not to have any tape down below.
So when I was looking at suits, I was like, I wasn't going to get a kilt, so I said I'd get a nice suit. And when I saw that, then I was like, oh, I like the velvet. And I already had a velvet jacket.
Okay.
But I just liked the black. I thought it looked classy. And
It did.
with the wallpaper and the Radisson, I thought that would look well.
I like it. She's looking at the aesthetics of the room and everything. I like that.
We love the wallpaper.
Where did you get the suit?
No, Main Street in, I think of the name.
In that place.
Yeah.
Main Street. They were very
We'll
helpful.
tag them later.
They were
we
really
were there a
helpful.
couple of weeks ago as
Yeah,
well.
we were.
Looking at shirts for my dad.
I'm sure it was lovely.
Really lovely shop.
Yeah.
Very helpful.
Really lovely
Top
shop.
notch.
Yeah.
But that kind of decision to kind of, it's effectively black tie, you did Nicky Bow and everything like that, where you kind of tempted to go elsewhere, where you kind of like, you kind of knew that that's kind of what you want to do.
I knew because we were at a friend's wedding a few years ago and they wore something similar.
Yeah.
So I knew that looked kind of classy, it looked nice.
Stood out. Like,
and I think as well for pictures, like when you look at it, you know, if you wear a check suit or something that might age or something, but if you have something like this, it's not going to.
Oh, it's timeless.
You know?
100%. And it does bring a formality to a very formal day, no matter what tone you're having of the day. A wedding's formal the way, any way you look at it, wherever it is and whatever you're doing, it's a big day kind of thing. So, no, and it looked great. It looked really well with your dress as well, Katie, because the lace in your dress was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
no,
like,
it
I'm
all
never
worked.
wearing lace.
But it was lovely.
Don't ever.
It was lovely.
But like you went shopping with your sister for her wedding dress.
Yeah.
And told me, no, don't be closed-minded to anything that they suggest.
Yeah.
And I would never have picked out the
You're like a
dress.
fashion
I'm
guru,
telling
Cormac.
you.
Who would have known?
I've got one.
And I was like, I'll try it on to be polite. But it's all lace. I don't think I'll like it, and then I loved it.
Wow.
She made me try on then the other ones that I'd liked as well in comparison to that one, and I just was like, I can't get out of my head. I really, really like it. So never, obviously, maybe go in with a bit of an idea of what you want. It's like, but be open-minded.
But it was like, because with your complexion, whatever colour that lace was, it just seemed to work.
Okay.
I don't know, on the day that was just something that came across to me. It was kind of like, because you didn't wear tan, did you? No. And like you were right not to, because you've got lovely skin tone kind of thing.
I just,
but it just worked really well. I'm not too sure exactly the colour the lace was, but it just worked really, really well. I just something I noticed when you put it on.
No, it was gorgeous. Yeah, I was really happy with it. And Alina, who did all the alterations for them, was really, really good as well. She's in Ballincollig, actually.
Amazing.
How did you find that process, kind of like the fitting and getting them made, and then the fittings and changing alterations and that?
I was really surprised at how simple the whole thing was. You're kind of nervous because you've not done it before. I've never been involved in like Irish dance or anything where people might have measurements and costumes and stuff like that. to that kind of level.
Your West End career didn't.
They were all probably made by my mum. But it was just, and also like the kind of the expensive, like the material. I didn't realise, just like a wedding dress, how good the material is and how heavy the material is.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking when I went in to try some dresses on that I really liked. Once you've actually tried them on and felt how heavy they are, being like,
some of them
that's
are
heavy,
like
really,
ridiculous.
really heavy.
Yeah.
Or like, being able to dance in them was really important as well.
Exactly, yeah.
And like anything that I would have done for dancing or whatever, anything like that is so comfortable.
So were you in the middle of the shop going, rolling?
Yeah.
Rolling.
My mum squats.
I did squats.
You did she gives out to me, you did the man squat, put on your pants and start squatting.
It was like, do everything. My mum was like, pretend you dropped something there. Do this. Yeah. And then the dress lady was like, we'll give you a minute. My mum. It was, and I think all of Beyonce's moves were practiced.
Yes.
I was like, they must have a camera somewhere.
That's brilliant. That's gas.
Oh, that's so. I could just see you and your mom like.
My mum was like, take your time now. Let's do all of these movements a couple of times. And some of the dresses were lovely, but they were just way too heavy. Just way, like really, really heavy.
But I find even just trying to like hang them up on things sometimes I'm like literally I can't do it with one hand, I'm like two hands going.
That one was heavy.
Up there.
That was heavy. And what I was amazed by is what they can do with like the bustle and everything.
Yeah.
Like and just being like, oh, is it actually going to stay?
Yes.
Is it actually going to this? And without having a bridesmaid, Ruth was there, like heavily pregnant, was like, I'll do it, it's fine. Are you sure? I might get one of the girls to help. She said no. So she came to the fitting because my mum was away on holiday and she was actually off because it was a birthday. Can you imagine? That's what she chose to do. That's what she chose to do on that day. What a friend. And like they talk you through all of it, what to do, even how to walk in the dress.
It's great.
Walk around the dress.
Isn't it?
Yeah, all these things that you never would think
sure,
of.
why would you think about it?
No.
I mean, it's a dress. You
And,
kind of be like, it'd be grand.
She was like, right, I'm going to give you this to hold. Alina was like, have this to hold, and then that arm is going to be with your dad. So like, you can't. So she's like, do not look down. Don't look down. Just keep your head up because if you look down, it might drag the dress. And if you're outside the picture, I was just amazed at all of the things she'd thought about. But the fittings weren't super long.
Okay.
Or tedious or anything like that.
Just
she
informative,
also said,
helpful. Yeah, that's really
she
good.
also said the tape. And she was just, she was really thorough, really, really good. And the bustle did stay all night. I wasn't sure.
It didn't snap or come down or anything.
It lasted all night, and it looks great in the pictures as well. There's still that bit of like length to the dress when you twirl.
But you're not
that's
falling
right,
over Cormac.
Yeah, exactly. And I heard someone said actually that some hotels specify if you have a huge dress that it has to have a bustle.
Oh,
wow.
I've
Health and safety.
Never heard that.
Health and safety.
But it would not surprise me.
I can think of a few actually that would be like that.
There's some hotels with interesting rules, wow,
That's a new one on me.
Yeah. So I think it was just like that was the big thing, to be comfortable.
Okay.
As comfortable as you can in a big wedding dress, and not change into a second one.
Yeah.
But she was really, really good, really thorough. I mean, I'd only ever thought of, I might have to wear the shoes I'm wearing on the day. No.
Yeah.
And even as specific as have the underwear you're going to wear, take all of that with you, things like that.
Yeah.
Or a friend of mine said, on the day, get taped in first, because if you wore a bra under the dressing gown, you don't want any lines from a bra. All these things that you just...
It just sounds like you were given such great advice beforehand.
Yeah,
these are lots of things that girls don't hear about.
Or like, don't wear a watch because it can leave.
Yeah. Or bobbins.
Yeah, bobbins.
Yeah.
All these sort of things that you just...
I spend the morning
those
going
evil bobbins.
Hold
into the bag. Rolex.
Definitely. And then how did you find the ceremony? Did you enjoy the ceremony?
Oh, Linda was amazing. Like,
she's very lovely.
Honestly, favourite part, I think how she told her story was amazing, and just seeing people's reactions was just so funny.
Yeah. How did you find before, because I love the aisle walk moment where the bride walks up the aisle and you're at the top. Did you find that was that the most nerve-wracking part of the day?
It was like building, wasn't it? Because I mean, I think you were quite cool with the lads.
Yeah.
But I think because it meant so much to you, I think you and you're comfortable. I mean, you're comfortable here talking. You're comfortable doing the speech later on. But I think the emotion was building with you, and I think that was nice. But did you kind of feel that yourself?
Yeah, 100%. Because I suppose we left each other at like 12 o'clock the day before, 11:30.
Yeah.
And we didn't really text. Like my brother-in-law came over from Boston, so I brought him down to Milton and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then when I had time to think, I'm like, geez, I'm getting married in a few hours. Or
you kind of remember, don't you?
Yeah.
A couple hours.
And then you're at the hotel and I was waiting for her to come down. I'm like, just hope everything's okay. Hope she's happy. Hope she's relaxed. Hope she's calm. And
I love that, Cormac, that you were like really thinking about how is Katie feeling.
What's going on? He knows me.
But it was an epic moment. I mean, your music choice. Tell the lads what your music choice was.
Oh yeah. Everlong by the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
acoustic,
Nice.
because Dad and I have gone to lots of concerts over the years. Like Green Day was my first concert, and then we went to the Foo Fighters, I think, 5 times.
But it's an
So,
epic song.
Yeah.
Like
I don't think you've ever heard it
Yeah.
before as a
Yeah.
song. It was amazing.
Really?
No, I don't think we have.
Oh no, as in the wedding. No, I was like,
You have.
Have you heard it?
I know who
Well,
Foo Fighters
well,
are.
Don't worry, Dave. She knows.
But when you heard the song kind of switch on
Yeah.
and come bells, did you kind of like really? It kind of got you, yeah.
It was amazing because Katie's dad wouldn't be an emotional person, I suppose.
Okay.
Really?
But to see them walk, see them walk down
Yes.
together,
Yeah.
and he was just, you could see he was so proud. You could see she was so happy,
Yeah.
and you were relaxed as well, which was
Well,
nice.
yeah, but between coming from the room to coming, we were nearly walking up, and then we saw some guests stuck in a revolving door. And my dad was just like belting on, and he walks fast anyway.
Oh yeah, he does.
So and I warned him, I was like, we don't have much of an aisle at all here,
Yes,
Yeah,
we
yes, yes.
have to do this slowly.
Yeah.
The song
Yeah.
was quite long, really, for the Nile walk.
Yeah.
So take your time. And he's like, oh, like, I know. And then they were coming in, they were like, we're so sorry. My dad was like, what's going on? I was like, we know them. Look, they have to come. And he was like, okay, fine, whatever. Like,
That's
just
gas.
And then of course I
That
had to
is
take a
gas.
photo.
Forest
of
are
it.
playing today.
Yeah.
England are playing
But
today.
any
like,
nerves you
probably-
had are that kind of like, oh, we must go over there, do this,
Yeah, it
and
wasn't
then
a
something
distraction.
bizarre
It was
like that
great,
happens.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it got snapped, which was really funny. But
Yeah.
but like I think when I came in then, and you've obviously not practiced it, we'd seen the room before. She was like, right at the bottom, just like take a second. I was like, hang a second, I've got all hyped up here to get down the aisle.
I'm moving forward.
But my
Keep
dad-
on moving
Yeah.
forward. Yeah.
And you just like don't fall. You're just like focused on
Yeah.
these sort of things.
Yeah.
Don't fall. Everyone's
Yeah.
looking at you. But honestly, and I think that's one thing people said, and I didn't believe on the date. Your jaw hurts because you're just smiling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much because you're
Yeah.
just having such a good time, and then even like Ruth, my friend, she's just seen me already, and she's so
Yeah.
happy. Like,
Yes.
you know what I was like, you know.
It's
what I was
an
wearing,
epic moment. It
everything.
really
Yeah.
is, no
Yeah.
matter
And,
what. Yeah.
like that, like my dad's not super emotional with things. I think, but looking at the pictures,
Yeah. You
Oh,
can
he
see-
was.
You see
He
a glint. You
was.
see a
Yeah.
glint.
Yeah.
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 but also just I think that he and some other people in our family aren't super into photos. And a few days later, my mum was telling me when they all calmed down, they were delighted, and my dad was even like, "Yeah, it was really well done. Didn't feel the photographers there. You know,
Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't grow up in a
Cool.
social media
Yeah.
age where everyone's
Yeah.
taking pictures,
Yeah.
and not only do you have the formal pictures where everyone's looking, the ones that I really love are the candid ones where
Yeah.
no one actually knows.
In
And
the
they-
ceremony, because they were, and
Yeah.
like you said, Linda
Trying to
did.
get your dad candid is tough. He's got a radar on photographers. Yeah.
Yeah.
when the first look, he looks in like,
Oh, he was
do you know what it is?
so funny.
There's a lot of speed cameras in England,
Oh.
and I think that's what's made him bad. He's like, he thinks
He literally
Go on,
came into the room and looked
Like-
straight at me and was like,
like
all
she
right.
was a sniper, like she was a hidden sniper, like he had a clock, like no one's gonna catch me. Like, it was so funny, so funny.
But I think it was such a compliment to Linda, like you're saying, like that people were so engrossed to the way she
Yeah.
delivered
Yeah.
it, the way she told your story, the way she teed up every little element that you want to do.
Yeah.
That allowed us to capture those little moments where they could
Yeah.
react when they were looking at you, when you were looking at people, when something specific was said, you're like, that's that guy over there, or whatever it was.
Oh,
It was kind of
yeah.
like you can capture those moments,
Yeah.
and that's brilliant. Yeah.
And the hand fastening and the ring warming and all these little bits and pieces, like, because the guests actually got really into the ring. I don't know if he probably saw it in the photographs
And the
afterwards.
photographs, yeah,
But
especially the girls. I think,
yeah,
looking at
they
all
were
the
really
rings,
kind of
yeah.
like, like giving
Yeah.
you
Wishing you
well
well,
wishes,
yeah,
which was
yes.
really nice.
There's a lovely one of Charlotte now and some of the girls, and there's a funny one where it's being passed between 3 friends, and we all went to the same school in different years.
Okay.
And again, one of those things where those people maybe in a bigger crowd I'd have never introduced or got together.
Sure.
Okay.
And they just got to meet each other anyway. And
Wow.
it's like
Amazing.
one's passing it through. It's like a relay passover.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
you're seeing
Row
it
to
pass
row,
through.
yeah.
And I think what's funny as well is some people took pictures on their phone of the rings because they were like, we're this up close.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's get a
With the
photo.
You'll never get a chance at that.
Oh,
yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
people be like,
Yeah, yeah.
But it was, and that was something I'd never seen before. But we had one or two other things kept in. But when we saw the length of the story and stuff, we were like, we don't need to have loads of different bits.
Yes.
And what I loved was Linda literally sounded like in the nicest possible way, like she was on the bus telling someone how two
Yeah.
people met, or she was telling her
Okay.
friends at a couple like
Yeah,
down
there was
the
a
pub.
balanced approach rather
Yeah, it
than
wasn't
say
all-
droning on or kind of just stating
Yeah.
things factually. She adds her own character
Yeah.
and kind of probably from the information you did that there's emphasis or little spins
yeah.
that just breaks up the story that makes it nice to listen to. Yeah,
There
yeah.
was like an inside joke that wasn't really an inside joke about like somewhere in the UK or like family are from, you know, and then everyone laughed more than we expected even. That was just like a shout out to like some friends and family. And she reacted really well. She was like, "Oh, that's an inside joke," you know. And she was just
she's good for like in the moment, and like off the cuff, like out of script. If something happens, she's really able to go.
Or the
she's very good.
No one could heckle her, I'd say.
No.
She responded to the energy in the room really well,
100%.
and I think people like my family. We're not a big family. There's not loads of weddings,
sure,
but they probably haven't been to many that weren't like really formal. So when they realised, oh, we can laugh here, or you know, we can react. I think I saw like
or even
my
outside
family.
of a church, a lot of people still aren't used to it. Even though you'd think they would have gone to loads of them, but a lot of people haven't. Yeah.
So I think like my brother's younger than me. He's not been to lots of weddings.
Okay.
And like I said, my dad is like just my dad or whatever. He's gonna get a terrible grueling in this. Therapists are gonna be ringing me like.
Listen to my dad, Mom, you can listen, but they say good things about you.
So I think she fed off that energy really well as well, and we didn't plan it, but like the lads' ties matching the ribbons. By mistake, like colours.
Did they actually?
Two or three of them.
That's right. Yeah. There was a bit of a joke, and she spotted it. Yeah.
She spotted that. Like, one of the guys had a pink tie, and he was bringing a pink ribbon up, and she was like, "This pink ribbon is bought by Ivan, very coordinated." Or this red or burgundy one bought by Connor, also coordinated. Like she just noticed it, and we obviously saw.
I wonder if on the sly she was like divvying out the ribbons and kind of did, or were they pre-allocated?
We allocated them in the.
That's hilarious.
That's gas.
You must know them well. You know their colours.
Yeah,
what they like.
Cool. So in case people aren't twigging, what you did was a hand fasting, and you got different guests to come up and do a specific ribbon, and that's a nice way to include people, isn't it? Because you can only have so many readings, or someone's going to sign, or whatever it is. So a good way to do it is, if you're doing hand fasting, if you're doing 5 or 6 ribbons, you can get 5 or 6 different guests, and then kind of give them a shout out.
And you can have as many or as few as you want. That's the thing as well. And I thought that was really lovely.
It was a lovely touch to it, in fairness. No, it was a ceremony. I won't forget it. It was a lovely ceremony. No, it really was. It was very
very dramatic.
No, but it was very. You guys seem to be really enjoying yourselves.
Yeah. Like you said, I thought it was great when you said there. It was one of my favorite parts of the day because people don't automatically go, that was the favorite part of my day, because but you did enjoy it, and it was a good ceremony.
But I think even we were looking at the pictures again just recently, and it's a small room, right? It's not a big room, and like how you capture those moments is incredible. Like, because you don't have loads of space in there.
Ninjas.
But you are. That's what we were saying.
Oh, that's my lying on the floor, like Pilates move where I'm like.
But like we didn't even see you take the pictures. Like it's just.
Or even hear it. You know, like you hear like silence and then like a shut up. Or like what the guests were saying, especially the guests that were there early. They were saying, "Oh, there's a boom there, and there's this and that," and then, but they said honestly, we were thinking we're going to be in people's way whilst they're trying to get pictures of other stuff.
Yes.
Didn't notice it.
No, we're very like obviously it's very important that we get key moments and we have to get the picture. But I would never obstruct someone's view. That's also like participating as a guest as part. Now, obviously, there's some moments where you just like have to turn around and someone go, "I'll just be 2 seconds," and then I'll move again, kind of thing. But like we're very kind of conscious that like obviously yes, you want the footage afterwards, but in the moment, it's more important for the guests to enjoy seeing you guys put the rings on the finger, seeing you guys have the first kiss, that kind of thing.
But the wallpaper's so nice that you just want to disappear into the back of it.
We could actually start buying like shirts that match the wallpaper, like camouflage.
Do you ever see that when people go to an event like and they go, "My dress matched the curtains"?
We can start planning that way. Just like wear camouflage clothing.
But I think as well, though, like when I came in, the flowers we got done for the suits. Like I was panicking because there was one missing for your dad.
Oh yeah.
And then Benny just kind of calmed me down. He said, "Help me put mine on and stuff." And all that was just relaxing to have.
And the heating as well.
Yeah.
Something with the heating, finding the coordinator.
You were like, "This is all." So Benny was like,
"We got our
but there's a balance. But like I suppose people are polite, and I suppose another one I remember someone said it was amazing. Like they were chatting, there was something going on. And the groomsman said, and then Benny said, "We can say no." But people forget in that moment that you can just, you know what, we don't want to do that. Or do you know what, fix the heating or open a window, it's okay. You know, but people are, particularly when there's a ceremony, it's like they're so polite, they're sitting there and it's kind of like, Linda's a good person for that to go in 20 minutes. We'll all know that it's crazy warm or it's whatever it is.
But I think what was funny was you were like to me and the lads, lads, can you feel the heat in the room? And we thought he meant the glove. You know, saying, yeah, it is, isn't it?
Then he's very deep in that.
I bet you're no, it's getting hotter.
But it's like that. But again, I suppose it's like but the little things like the flowers it's like let you have a go at the flowers yourselves, and then it's like if you can't get it done, it's like I'll step in and I'll help you out, because it's like one of those things like that you don't do this every week. So it's like
it was amazing.
Mammy Benny.
He goes around my head. Oh yeah, it's a bit warm. We'll turn down that eating. You're not the right teacher. Not the right teacher.
But one of your biggest decisions probably was to do vows or not to do vows, personal vows.
Yeah.
Was it something like that you kind of felt it was always, or?
I love that you feel like you had to. I love that.
Straight out, like, you know, boom.
Like, I'm a quiet person, you know. I my job, I talk a lot, and then I'm quiet, like, in real life.
Yeah.
But, like, in real life.
On camera, this is just nonsense.
This is my persona.
Me and Katie are very humorous. So, like, we like to joke a lot, wind each other up.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And I think when you have vows that you can do that in, but you can tell everyone who's important to you in a room how you feel about another person.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's such a shame not to have that moment.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Yeah.
And were you happy to do the vows as well, Katie?
Yeah.
Okay. It was a joint.
It was more like when we did meet Linda. She was saying that she does give you a few things to help you do them, just to make sure that if one person's gone really romantic and
if
one's
one's struggling, or gone,
yes.
Let me tell you about our wedding.
Really?
No, we can go.
That's another episode. We'll be on that side.
She was exactly what happened. Oh yeah, and guess who the funny one was?
Was it you?
Yeah.
Yes, he was great.
Bottling up her emotions. Really, Laura will cry for other people. She's not crying for me. If she started, she'd never stop.
It was fine.
And it was nice, like, as in she helped you with, like, what's the other thing? Three things that annoy you about the other person. 3 things. Sum them up in 3 words, and that just kind of helped you think, right, that's where those parts are going.
Sure.
So I'm not going to repeat that in my vows as well, and just keep it short and sweet and simple.
Yeah.
And she said, like, I'm not going to tell you what the other person said, but if it was really off or whatever,
yes.
she was like, I'd let you know. And then she did message me once being like, I'm just saying that Cormac has got the Teacher's Ped Award because he messaged me first. I was like, oh really? Because he never told me that I had to send you the vows yet. He never shared the email with all the directions in.
No, domestic stats.
So Linda was like, oh,
I was top of the class. That's all.
By cheating.
Well done, Cormac. We're very proud of you.
And speaking of ourselves being discreet, you're doing your vows, so you're standing, you're doing personal vows, and it's a part of the ceremony that for a couple of minutes it's all about you, and there's great photographs where Linda has disappeared. So rather than just stand there and kind of be lurking or kind of smiling in between two of you when you're having this moment between yourselves, she's lovely, discreet, and stood to the side. And there's great photographs, the arches behind you and everything like that. And it's just...
She was like so well dressed, like a wedding guest.
Yeah.
But she was still like...
Well, she knows she's going to be in the footage as well. You know, she knows she's going to be like, in the front for the
That's
wedding
why we picked Linda. It was because we were looking at pictures and we was like, oh, she's nicely dressed.
It's the wallpaper and celebrant's face.
It is what it was.
He's all about the Instagram.
But she was saying, she kept saying it to us like in the initial meeting, and then I'll disappear, me thinking, not thinking much about it.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the room is the room was so small.
Yes.
Between the table being at the top, all the seats being there, our chairs being here, and a chair being behind. I don't know where she went. I don't know where she went.
Yeah.
Was she under the table? It's like, where's Wally? You know, like, where's
Wally?
And
find her.
Just those really great photos that you can manage to get. I was even like, we have 1 or 2 pictures with her, you know, that we have from the day. But
another thing Linda gave us advice on what was great was to face the audience. So a lot of people turn their backs on them.
Yeah, naturally you can just end up with your back to it, or kind of just through a little bit of shyness you could turn your back. Yeah,
and she was saying if you sit down and you face them, it's a bit more warm and it's a bit more. And it kind of showed.
To like to just take in the crowd as well and like you know enjoy that. Like
no, she's very good for little things that make
Massive.
difference.
Because I think that's why it felt more immersive as well. Like when you were joking about, like in jokes in her reading or anything else, or when she said something about me that you had said, I could see my friend in the back row, just like a meerkat going, I tell you this all the time, so whatever it was, who had come from the UK and we worked together really closely and we were always on Zoom calls. So we've seen each other in person like a lot of times, but this was just like, hello, like you just got on the page, just like, it's me. And that was something that I think I didn't think about, was seeing their reactions. And that was really fun. It was really fun.
And I think what was cool as well, so when you mentioned that you kind of got in jokes and stuff, you kind of had, what I liked throughout the day when I thought back was, you had little in moments that yourselves, and they were like little kind of little gestures to each other that you had. So things like the exit of the aisle where you kind of just paused, did your little shimmy.
The dance.
That's a good idea.
Little shimmy.
That was you, Cormac.
Hash pump, and then out you go.
Katie.
But having those little moments where they're personal to you.
Yeah.
Where, like,
I actually
they're nice.
sent her when we were there, I was like, don't forget we have to do the bump.
I can't wait to see the video of that one. I'm like, what do you mean forget? But what happened? So if you've seen the US Office, there's an episode of a wedding. There's a few weddings, but there's one where I won't ruin it for anyone. But there's a wedding and they dance down the aisle. We were always saying we'd love to do that, but we could never get anyone to do it. And then we were like, how can we do that, but not also ruin the walking down the aisle part? So it was just small, and we even changed the music up, I'd say, at the last minute, because we were going to walk down to James Blunt's Postcards. We just thought that's a bit slow for messing around on the aisle. And the Beatles was going to be somewhere else in the ceremony anyway. So we kind of just went with that.
No, I loved it because you took your time. You had a little bit of fun.
You were probably like, do they know?
Oh no, I was like, this is great.
Like, for that little pause at the start, they're like, do they know they need to?
No, I love when someone pauses because I'm like, oh, they've got something. Well, I hope they've got something. But usually
grenade launcher
something.
Fireworks.
But so you've mentioned The Office, so like that was kind of the theme that you had going through the day as well, wasn't it? Because they turned the ceremony space kind of around into the banqueting space for the 40 guests that were there earlier, and you kind of am I right in remembering this? You named the tables.
We didn't even ask for that to be done. They just knew that the US Office was the music we were coming into to the dinner. And we had said about naming tables before. I don't think we named them after characters in the end, did we? She just printed all the there was like a cartoon of a couple characters when they got married. And she just did that all up herself of the tables, and then everyone's guest thing, and called it the wedding. That was it, called the wedding.
The wedding.
That's in the Office theme, and we knew we had the Office cake. So she literally just was like, "Oh, would you like this done?" Made them all, and then just sent them to us. Would you like them or not? So invested all the time. Imagine if we said no. Invested all the time. Would you like them? And we were like, "Wow, that's amazing." You know? So just went the extra mile without.
That's
cool. That's cool.
It's really cool. And then the speeches were great as well.
We never did this. We were going to do this, but it was too much work. Was the stapler in the jelly? It was actually very hard to get a stapler in jelly and keep it levitating halfway through. That's a vow renewal thing.
You should have used the tape.
I think if it's vodka jelly, it stays so much.
That's just a waste.
Vodka jelly and tape.
Did you actually consider doing this?
Well, we're going to have one on each table.
Not just one. Like a share piece.
Share it, like that'll be the dessert now.
But it's just as well Benny was turning down the heat thing.
And then we're just like, no, it's actually just too much. It's too much work. There was another thing about putting actual stationery out that you've seen online, but I was just like,
you're either a DIY, I like my crafts and I've got time and patience for it, or you're not.
So we got 6 months, the whole thing.
That's a good point.
You can't count the last month, I don't think at all.
No, you can't.
Like even the last 2
fly
months.
by, and the last week as well. If you leave too much for the last week, it can snowball.
So we try to get as much done as early as possible. Really.
That's good advice.
And the speeches were great, guys. I must say they were very good. In fairness,
that's the one thing.
I was like,
like the microphone. We had issues with the microphone, and we're nervous about that on the video because I'm like, how bad was it? Like, as in it kept.
No, it's like I think you'd be surprised. So it's the same as like sometimes when we're having this chat and you're chatting to someone and they're like, wow, I'm so nervous, and like it just kind of felt like, was the conversation okay? Is there any material there? And like you'll be surprised when it works back. But in a moment, like when you fix a microphone or get it working, that in that moment when you're up in front of everybody, you're like, please work, come on.
It always feels like much longer.
But like it does. It's only a brief
it was like
moment.
Voice sensitive, and then I was thinking we might not have needed a microphone. The room was really small, but our mums we wouldn't need the microphone. Our mums maybe would need the microphone.
Yeah.
And we're just like, did it turn
And I
out
love
okay?
that the mums did speak.
That was nice.
Because, you know, it doesn't have to be the dads.
Yeah.
You know, or it can be anybody that wants to give a
Yeah.
speech, stand up with a microphone and give a speech.
Yeah.
Like when we came home from London and got engaged, I remember saying to Dad, "You're gonna have to do a speech," and he was straight out like, "No."
But at least he knew to say no.
But
though.
also he felt comfortable enough to say no.
Yes.
He doesn't like public speaking for such a chatty, like he is a very chatty person, you know. And then as well, he was like, and I said, "You'll have to walk me down the aisle." "I'm not doing that." I was like, my mum was like, "You do as you're told."
Yeah, there's a point to I'm not doing.
She was like, he actually really doesn't like public speaking, and whenever we've been to anything that he's had to do it, he's just not really a fan.
Yeah.
And your mom is
He
well
enjoyed
able.
it, but and the lovely pictures of him reacting to my mum's speech and reacting to your mum's speech was just lovely.
Yeah.
Like, and I think actually being able to, like, that was something that we did well, was the circle table, they could look at the people doing the speeches.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
actually there.
They weren't
was
standing
something-
looking out
That's
at
right.
everybody,
Yeah.
which can be quite daunting.
And like you say, your parents reacted, and I think like some people, you know, they don't know whether they can react. But your mum dropped a great joke. Your dad nearly exploded. That was great.
Splinters, was it?
Your
It
mum
was
with the
property.
splinters.
Well, it was
Yeah.
actually, yeah.
Oh, where she said, "And finally, may on the banisters of life, may all the splinters be pointing in the right direction."
Yes, yes.
And your siblings as well, because they
Yeah.
were kind of close to you, they were falling.
Yeah, because they're like, they don't expect a lady to be kind of throwing that out there, and your
Oh,
dad
she's
was
like
like,
that.
yeah.
Small and quiet and very
Oh, I didn't
put
expect it from
together.
your mum at
Oh,
all.
yeah,
She was
yeah.
very quiet all
Oh,
day.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
very like that, yeah.
Brilliant,
she's
brilliant.
hilarious.
Introduced to her.
Yeah.
I'd love to like get that written on the stairs
Yeah,
at
yeah.
home. Like,
Yeah.
just at
You
the
should
bottom.
actually.
Like a
You
quote.
could get like a little
Yeah,
engraving
like
plaque or
engrave-
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Class.
Like that. I think it's, and everyone, a lot of people have said that about the speeches.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I think my mum just like, she said, "Oh, I'd love to do a speech," and you know,
And
Yeah.
you can do
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
it
that's
was
it.
very like no rules. I was like, you know, if
Yeah.
no one
Oh,
wants to do
you
one,
really want no
if
rules.
no
Yeah.
one wants
Yeah.
to do one, I
Yeah.
don't care.
And the way you say that,
Yeah.
that there was no rules, it was like they weren't the standard structured of a speech.
Yeah.
It was like people delivered what they wanted to say, to wish you well, to say something nice.
It wasn't
to
just thanking
acknowledge
people
you.
over and over.
And
Yeah.
it was kind of
Yeah.
like there was.
Oh,
I think there was a
yeah.
nice balance to the structure of everybody. What they chose to say,
Yeah.
they didn't just stick to the standard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I
they
thought
made it their own.
was-
Yeah,
It was actually good that none of them like repeated stuff either.
yeah,
It's not like our mums consulted each other, but like stuff
Okay.
didn't repeat itself and stuff. But I think like our mums get on really, really well as well. So
Yeah,
we're
which is
lucky, and then
No.
they kind of know each other as well. And I think that was nice at the head
That's
table.
good.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
for your mum to get to know my godmother as well, she's heard
Yeah.
so much about her, and then to actually meet each other was just really
Yeah, and I
nice.
think the round table is a lovely idea for the
Yeah.
top table as well. Yeah.
If we'd had a top table, I think we'd have had to have less guests because it
Yeah.
really is a tight space.
Yeah.
But I thought it just worked.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It really was. And then because we're always, Benny loves discussions about wedding cakes.
Oh.
And but I
Oh,
liked,
yeah.
you know, he's obsessed with cake.
Is that where it all
You
went?
spoiled us.
That's where it all
The business that treats outside, you know full well.
I haven't got any of that lemon cake.
But I liked the way, so like obviously we had like the ceremony and the dining in one space, and then we
Yeah.
had the 40 guests. But you didn't have the cake in that area, so that
Oh, yeah.
like everybody got to see
Yeah.
the cake because it
Yeah.
was in the second space.
That's
yeah.
why, because
Okay.
we wanted everyone to be involved in some parts of the wedding. So we felt
Okay.
like cutting the cake, having 100 people there,
Yeah.
show them that we taught them highly and
Yes.
that they were
Yeah.
involved in our
Yeah.
moment as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like they missed every part of the day and then
Yeah.
have a few drinks
Yeah.
with us,
Yeah.
lads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we wanted drinks for them to take as well. Like it was like a mini drinks reception
Yeah.
again. You know,
Yes.
there was stuff for them when they went in, and there was plenty of food and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
stuff.
No, it was nice because I liked the way you did it because like it was kind of like an announcement that you're coming into the room and no one had seen you, the new guests
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
It was really like it was another brand new entrance to these new people.
We love it.
And then it was
But the pictures of him, in fact, it's the one thing, right, that I think we did wrong. It was lovely the song we came into, but what were we watching recently? WrestleMania.
Yeah,
And I was like, listen,
I've got into
I was
wrestling.
listening. We went years ago in Boston, and it was like the best.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's entertainment to the max.
Three
Yeah,
hours
yeah.
for wrestling.
She was rolling and shouting.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the best. And I've seen
You
Beyonce,
suck,
all these
Cena.
concerts and everything, and it was fabulous. And I remember thinking, we come into Domination, is it Glorious?
Glorious,
Or
yeah.
And I was
Bobby
like,
Roode.
that would have been a good one, or this would have been, and it was like, and seeing him come in, he's there like this, right? Hi. and I'm just walking in, and it's like we banged heads and saw personally, it's like, and that would have been really funny. And like 4 lads would have loved it.
Yeah,
Four lads
they would have got it.
absolutely lost it. The rest of them
Brilliant.
would have been like, what?
But then basically, one of the lads there, my friend, we used to work together in America, and he came all the way down from the north. And he went to WrestleMania a few weeks later, and we were texting, and I was like, so many songs we could have, like so many songs.
We did a great
So
wedding
many
before
songs.
where Amy and Barry, I remember their names because they were mad into wrestling. And Amy like gave a great speech and she's like, I know most of you in this room won't get this, and then went on to talk about wrestling for 10 minutes. I didn't care. And I was like, this is brilliant.
And I was just thinking that, or like, wasn't it someone we know came in to the Undertaker?
Yeah,
Over
there was
there.
something
Oh,
come
were
out.
they?
Yeah, you had and all
All
that.
of them.
He actually had the hat.
Yeah, and the
Stop.
music and everything. Yeah.
I
Brilliant.
love it. That's brilliant.
That-
Like, I just
Brilliant.
don't think many people would get it.
No,
That's
no,
all
no.
it was.
But sometimes it
Once
just
you had your
doesn't
fun,
matter.
that's all.
My
that
brother
matters.
would have probably got squared up and ready like we were kids playing wrestling. PTSD.
Who's first? But the entrance was great.
Yes, it was good. Yeah.
And then the fact that you
It
went
wasn't
over
quite
to
the
cut the
right.
cake for everybody.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
you were able to get photographs, everyone was able to see it.
Yeah.
And you actually got on the mic, Billy's mic
Yeah.
as well, just to kind of like welcome people, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that
yeah.
that again was kind of Billy's idea as well. Kind
Okay.
of say,
Yeah.
look, maybe
That's great
welcome the
advice,
people and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
show your thanks.
It's a
for
brief formal
Yeah.
hello. It wasn't a full speech, like just so people
Yeah.
are kind of like wondering, oh, I must do double speech or something like that if they wanted to
Yeah.
do something similar.
Yeah.
It was just a brief kind of acknowledgement, say hello, and
Where people came
kind of just
from.
Yeah.
It was nice.
It was good. It was a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was really
Yeah,
good.
And
yeah.
then like
Yeah.
people even came up, like you listed all the countries out, and someone was like, you didn't mention Limerick. You know, just gave people an icebreaker. These kind of things that people could
Yes.
talk about was really, really
Yeah.
nice. And also, I think that everyone felt then, right, it started now, so we don't need to like hang
Okay.
around and like,
Yeah.
are we going to miss anything? Because that's
Yeah.
kind of done, and first dance was done, and no one
Yeah.
fell over.
And
Had
actually-
Oh, it's all good, yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing Billy did for us was he put up our engagement video.
Yes.
So-
and
Yeah.
pictures.
Like
um,
family members didn't see that.
Because I was very impressed by this
Yeah.
work now. The fact that,
oh,
there was a proposal, and then not that you were kind of keeping the proposal from Katie, but the fact that you'd hired someone to stalk you with a camera. But it actually looked really cool, because
Yeah.
it really
It's so
was the most
embarrassing.
natural looking
So-
video. It was gorgeous.
Katie likes to think that like she'd
I'm
she'd
getting a
spot
letter from
anyone.
MI5 any day. Because I'm so discreet. But no, it's in, you'd be watching spy movies or you'd be watching a movie and be like, how do they not know this
Yeah,
material?
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
like, how do they not realise this? And
Did
I
you
do.
have any idea?
Have you ever tracked a friend just for the crack? We used to do it. Like we'd have he'd be like, I'm just going over here, and we knew full well he was lying, right? We'd be off in town acting the maggots, right? And we'd be like, come on, we follow him for the crack. So we follow him,
How
and
did you two meet?
he was going somewhere completely different. But it was gas crack. Actually,
No.
tried to follow him through a city. It's just like it's so
Benny,
much
no,
fun.
no one else has done that.
Girls don't like being followed.
No, they don't. They really don't. Especially in the streets. What the
And I'm
hell?
always kind of just wary of my surroundings and would look around. I can remember there was a girl at the wedding. We did Erasmus in France together, and I can remember once walking down the street. Her
I
being
think
like,
I
"What
know
are
the
you-"
girl you were talking about. She was talking to me loads.
Leah.
Yeah.
She was like, "What
She
are you
was
looking
great
at?"
crack.
And I was like, "Yeah, just kind of like, look behind me, just to be aware of my surroundings." So in this, I can remember as well in the video, he was like, "You sure we're going the right way to Covent Garden?" I'm like, "Yes," like in the middle of the video. But it was just embarrassing that I missed the whole thing in a way. It was great.
Yeah.
But like, I think
You
my dad.
really had no
No,
clue.
no,
I love it.
It's brilliant.
Well done, Cormac.
So that
Yeah.
morning I was
Well
actually picking up rubbish from outside the hotel
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's so much rubbish running from the birds. I was
So
like,
You were cleaning outside the
Streets.
front. Stop it.
Mayor of London will get the invoice any day now. He complained about it so basically you got there the day before
yeah.
and he said, I'm going to a work party or a big org meeting, which isn't unusual. We haven't seen each other because of years of COVID, whatever. Do you want to come? I said, fine. And sometimes I, would meet him, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, Covent Garden, and Covent Garden is my favourite place.
Okay.
I always go to see the Christmas tree there and it's lovely. And there's a film Last Christmas that was out a couple of years before and I just loved it. It had
Seen it.
Emilia Clarke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
All
Yeah.
the George Michael music. I never realised how much I liked George Michael
Oh, he's brilliant,
till
yeah,
this,
yeah,
till
yeah.
this movie.
Okay.
So much. Well, had a traumatic experience as a child with my dad and George Michael.
And George
Not really,
Michael.
He wasn't there.
Me and my dad and George Michael.
He wasn't there, right? But
And my dad kicked him
I
up the arse.
usually say, tell me more, but I'm not going to.
I loved him, and I just loved him. Like I was like, Daddy, look at his hair, he's lovely. And he just straight to me.
Daddy.
So, my brother wasn't born, so I know I was under 3. And he was like, United's type. Straight out. And I was like, I didn't understand. He was
Yes.
like, and you know that most parents be like, when you're older.
Yes.
And he just went straight into it and was like, that's never gonna happen.
like if a 2, 3, 4-year-old says, "Can I marry you?" You just say yes.
Yeah.
You don't
Or down the
just say
street,
no, you
it's
can't,
leaving.
and break their heart.
Yeah, he was like, forget it. And I didn't like his hair. was when it was kind of all blonde.
Yes.
Gorgeous. So that's why that was playing in the music, because it's in the movie as well.
Okay.
Right. So you forgive George?
I suppose, just about. And it was really weird. It was really creepy actually, because we did the same walk the next day, and where we had passed, there was like it's not too long after George Michael died, on Christmas Day, I think.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yes. Yeah.
And there was some just random graffiti like George Michael lives forever. Something really small, maybe the size of this frame. And then we noticed it. Then it was so creepy.
That's a bit surreal.
Yeah. Lots of serendipity there. Yeah.
And the video was so funny because it was England were playing. What was it?
France in the Euros.
A World Cup.
A World Cup.
Oh,
World Cup.
Deluded, thinking
Didn't come out.
Yes.
Yeah. Covent
Should have gone to win this year. It's grand. They'll solve the problem.
And they were all on so like it's Covent Garden, the Christmas tree, and then there's like a balcony there of a bar.
Okay.
So there's all these tourists taking their Christmas pictures and everything, and then there's all these people up there. And when they realised what was going on, they all started cheering and going crazy.
Brilliant.
But because it's slow mo in the video,
yes,
you see these women in the background in particular who are like so into the whole thing.
Okay.
And they're so excited they fall over each other. But it's like slow mo of like, you ever see soccer with the penalties, and then they're like,
yes,
oh God,
they just scored or missed or
so
something.
they're just gone like this slowly, and then one's gone.
Yeah.
That's my favourite bit of the video.
That's gas. That's very US office type stuff.
Yeah. So funny. But I just remember thinking, I'm so embarrassed. I was like, was he there? Was he following us?
For how long? Yeah.
And also
it's been the whole weekend.
So busy in Covent Garden at the best of times.
Yes.
I don't know how he even managed to take it.
Yes.
It's amazing though, when you're not looking for something, you won't see it.
But
that's a quote now.
Yeah.
That's an Instagram quote.
No, but it's true though.
Oh.
You won't though. Like whereas if you're made aware of something, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. Yeah.
But that was the other thing, because I had the ring in my pocket. Katie was like, "Oh, you could be robbed here any second." Like,
Yeah,
you
watch
kept
your
pickpockets
pockets.
everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Watch
You're
your
really having it up.
Watch your pockets.
But isn't it that's one of the worst experiences of your life, carrying that ring for that
100%.
one, transporting it to another country, but then carrying it on the day is like, it's just no crack.
It's not nice at all.
I'm so bad at that. Like, we go on a tube or we go anywhere. I'm like, watch your pockets now, because pickpockets everywhere. It's a very touristy area now.
At least you know I've got my phone stolen. I'm really kind of like trust everyone and fine.
No.
And then I get robbed and I'm like, maybe another opportunity. I've been ringing him going, I've lost my phone, just ring Shannon if you're looking for me, that kind of thing.
Don't trust anybody.
Yeah. But that was a really nice touch though, because it was an amazing thing for you to do, Cormac, for the proposal, but then to share the video like up on the screen in the room for everybody to see was really, really like, it was a nice touch.
And the amount of complaints he got after from lads, they were like, thanks very much for that, now you're after
the bar.
Yeah, or his cousin came over, I'm going to tell all the girls in work, she's a hairdresser, and I'm going to tell all the clients in work, now that's what you did, and that's the expectation now. But also what Billy did was any photos we wanted, he projected up throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, he was telling us that you liked that worked well, like really so guests could share what they caught and put it up.
Share on Google Photos, and
brilliant.
He was like, I'll organise that then. And it's really funny because you've these first dance pictures, and then in the background you've like, just in the very background, a picture of us. You were asleep, I think. I took a selfie on holiday. He fell asleep on a plane.
Does a lot.
There was actually some very funny photos where everyone was like busting a move in the dancer. If you look behind, you're like, what are they doing in that photo?
Just really like,
what's happening there?
So there was a time he fell asleep on a ferry to Sicily from Malta.
Sicily.
And we did a really long day, so tired, and he was really asleep. It was our first holiday. And he fell asleep, and I took his sunglasses off him. And he's still asleep. Then I put my sunglasses on him.
Yeah.
And then I put the sunglasses I took off him back on him. So that's like on the background of something else as well. And it was just people even talking about the pictures.
I don't think Billy told us this. So did he kind of go to you if there's any photographs, just to kind of that fire it in there, and then as people send in something, it kind of get mixed up or randomly put in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's an extra.
And it doesn't have to be just you if there's pictures of anyone else. Or like he also did like the music videos for some of the songs.
Wants to come in and say hello.
We'll get her in for the last couple of minutes.
I have to get her camera.
Are you sleeping? She's just awake. Oh. She has to interrupt the podcast.
Cool.
Every
podcast. So she has to say goodbye to you. So throw her up there. Come on, throw her up there.
She comes in on the timer like.
Hi, Banshee.
She'll be all over the table.
It's all right.
Everywhere.
It's worth it for the crack.
Yeah. Come here, Pop.
Come on.
You got her.
So Banshee was given the gift of a camera.
Are you going to be your assistant?
So she's so sleepy. Why aren't we watching TV? The Eurovision's on.
Say thank you.
Yes. You're so
she's
good.
Still learning
We gotta.
yeah, she's still learning that.
She can come along to the shoots now, you see.
That's
She can
it.
come on the
That's
dates.
it.
Yeah, keep everyone smiling. Oh, camera.
You can actually go over her head as well.
Say cheese.
Can you see?
Brilliant. But that's a great finish now. Thanks so much, lads, for coming in. Like, it's been brilliant, and you've been so much help. I think people get so much out of that.
There's loads of advice there. You probably don't realise how much advice you're giving people.
Really?
But if you think of yourself
That's what's nerve-wracking.
before the wedding, you didn't know any of this.
No.
The fact that you've gone through it,
Yeah.
and share that
We're
with
never
people.
doing it again.
Never again. Never again.
Have you said that?
Except the vow renewal.
Maybe. We'll have to get a second wear out of the dress.
Yeah,
That was
Yeah.
the other thing. I remember
You
being
can't
like, I'm not keeping the dress. I'm just going to like...
You should
Oh.
wear
Right.
it today.
I should have worn
You
it. It was a
should've
joke.
worn it.
but
How
like-
weird would that be?
Carolina wasn't available. Imagine me getting out the
And I'm going to
car.
put mine on.
This is what you do on the podcast, isn't it? I'll put Laura's on next time.
yeah.
You put yours on, I'll put Laura's
I'll wear
on.
the tops. And then I can remember thinking, I don't want to get rid of it. All
But
along
you
I was
could
like,
shorten
get
it
rid
or
of
something and use it.
But I liked that I had the long,
Right.
so that Harry Potter cloak effect.
Something will happen. You'll enter like a dance competition, like, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, get used out of it.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Brilliant.
But guys, thanks so much.
Thanks
for
so much,
coming
that was
in.
amazing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Cheers.
Where is she
Cheers.
going? She's
gone.
going with us.
She's got no, yes.